You're ready.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Happy Monday and happy Apprenticeship Week. So we are in store today to learn more about apprenticeships. I believe Jobs for the Future is here, and also Meredith will be speaking today when she joins on. And so I will not delay because we're going to learn more about apprenticeships and their value. So I'll pass it to our Executive Director, Matt Bogosian, for some updates.
Great, Michelle. Michelle Burris from the Century Foundation. Appreciate you opening and closing these calls and your teamwork on a lot of fronts, like so many of our BFFs here on this call every Monday. I want to first, well, I should say November 18th. This is the AMCC's National 30-minute call, same time every non-holiday Monday, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, 9:30 Mountain, and 8:30 Pacific time. But I wanted to start off by wishing David Van Sicklen, our operations director, happy birthday. Happy birthday, David. We need an army of 20-somethings doing this work, and David has been a model for his generation in that regard. So genuinely nice person. Somebody asked me, does he get the day off? And I said, heck no. We got lots of good hard work to do. So please wish David a happy birthday. And that work includes, of course, strengthening relationships and sharing stories to accelerate the national consensus on manufacturing as the cornerstone of our economy in diverse regions across the country. A piece of that progress is this national weekly call, key component, as is the weekly AMCC update newsletter. So if you don't have that or your networks don't have it, please get it out there. It's great stuff in there. Like the latest on the Tech Hub program and so much more. Lots of you all send us info that we can include in there, which is really awesome. And please keep it coming. AMCC, we do these roadshow visits too. Shout out to Texas. We'll be going to Texas in a few weeks for that. We do podcasts and metrics work. And of course, as I think most everybody knows, we're co-creating this National Manufacturing Momentum Summit at the National Association of Counties headquarters in DC. It's really a workshop. And the room is packed. We don't have any more room, but we're going to have a virtual component to that. So anyone can join virtually for those panels on the first day of that. That's going to be December 12th. So David can drop the sign up for the virtual attendee on that. Back to our Monday calls, these things that we're doing right now is that it's informal for those that are new, informal affairs where we, a great way to start the week. People from diverse public, private, and nonprofit organizations come together around a common evidence-based theory of change. What we like to do, as Michelle said, we do. It is Apprenticeship Week, and we do have a couple of BFFs who are going to talk about their good work in apprenticeship. But before we do that, we've gotten into the habit of saving a few minutes here up front for folks that might be new to the call or want to reintroduce themselves quickly about where you work and where you are in the ecosystem. So let's do that now. If you're new, want to introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself really quickly, please raise your hand. Also use the chat, put your name and whatnot in there. I know we do have, hey, Will, come on in. I see your hand, please.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, not going to be able to come off video. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Will Tosfern, lead policy researcher at the UC Berkeley Labor Center and the Green Economy team. And we're working primarily on a project in the waterfront areas of Contra Costa and Solano County on building a high road clean energy manufacturing industry. And really excited. We just got kicked off formally on that project, but really excited to be a part of these calls. Thanks to David and Matt for inviting me when I saw them in California a few weeks ago.
Great, Will. Well, welcome. Glad to have you here. Let's see. Any other folks? Yeah, please, Rick.
Yes, let me just make sure I'm not on mute. I'm working fine. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rick Mullins. I'm the Director of Service Delivery for Constep here in Connecticut. I have a long history prior to coming to Constep of working with Connecticut manufacturers, the Department of Labor, the Department of Economic and Community Development, supporting manufacturers in Connecticut. Thank you for the opportunity for being on the call.
Great, Rick. Welcome. Glad to have you on here. Gary Potter.
Good morning, everyone. Gary Potter. I'm a regional director for employer engagement for the Central Valley Motherlode Regional Consortium here in California. We're a consortium of 15 community colleges. I primarily focus in the areas of agriculture and advanced manufacturing as they blend pretty well here in the Central Valley in California. So glad to be here, glad to participate, and thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Gary. Great to have you here. Anybody else want to quickly say? Kevin? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm an SPDC advisor in South King County, the Kent Valley, just below Seattle. And I'm just curious to understand better about how I might plug into that AMCC, see where I can fit.
You're doing it right now. That's great. And you can just send a note to David and we can set up a call and talk about some of our other activities, Kevin. One that we have talked with Washington state stakeholders for a while is doing an AMCC roadshow up in Washington, but that's just one of many activities. So look forward to that sidebar discussion.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Any other people want to say hello? Yeah, Lori, welcome.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm filling in for Michelle Uresti, who's with Workforce Intelligent Network. Our background is primarily workforce and talent and employer collaboratives, as well as research. But my background is higher education, but also project managing around the EV Workforce Hub and our Magma employer collaborative. So happy to be here and learn more.
Great, Lori, welcome. Well, Michelle's been a long-time BFF of ours, going way back to the IMCP program. So great to have you a part of that, have that historical thread too. So welcome. Yeah, please, Kate.
Hey, Matt. Kate Timmerman with the Chicago Quantum Exchange. I love joining this call. I feel like I come like once a month, so I miss a lot. But I'm looking forward to hearing, meeting everyone, hearing what's going on. I also wanted to do a quick plug that the Chicago Quantum Exchange leads one of the EDA tech hubs called the Block Quantum, focused on the Chicago region. And we have posted our regional innovation officer job. So if anyone on this call knows any phenomenal prospective leaders in tech-based economic development, don't be afraid of the word quantum. We would really welcome you guys to disseminate this opportunity. I'll put the link for the job in the chat.
That's awesome, Kate. And please, you're great modeling great activities for the AMCC network. You don't have to be on this call every week. I think, we advise it, but you don't. It's okay, and we record it, we post it, so you can catch up on it later if you miss it. And maybe, we invite anybody that has, is doing important work that might be scalable in other parts of the country. We're open to reserving a Monday for you to come on for 10 to 15 minutes to talk about your work. Also, in terms of the job recruitment thing, you'll notice in the AMCC update, David has been putting in, when people share with us that they're looking for people, we can put those in the AMCC updates too. So please, thank you for all of that good content, Kate, modeling great stuff for the team here. Okay, so that's good. I'm glad. Thank you all for introducing yourself, and that's good. This is really informal. This is the kind of community of trust, really, of building important relationships and sharing stories so that we can perfect, better strategies, taking actions in regions across the country. Ultimately, we need better structures for doing the good hard work of strengthening the manufacturing cornerstone. And we frame that around key industries, and we're shooting for sustainable development, but we also focus on how does that happen? Well, we call it the big six. We need to focus on each element of the kind of 6 component parts of a thriving regional manufacturing ecosystem. We're working on a metrics tool and playbook on that front with so many of our BFFs. But in these calls, we love to bring people on to talk about one of those big 6 elements, which is workforce and training. And as Michelle said at the outset, this is Apprenticeship Week. So a perfect opportunity to bring in, a couple of experts to talk about apprenticeships. David, maybe if you haven't done so already, if you drop the link to Apprenticeship Week that we have in the update, people could just grab that there. And you can check out every day as a different kind of sub focus. But on today's call, we have our longtime friend Melissa McGregor from JFF, Jobs for the Future, Director of Solutions Design and Delivery, to kick us off. And then we'll turn after that to Meredith O'Connell from New York. Part of the MEP there is the Center for Economic Growth, and Meredith is the Workforce Development Manager to talk about apprenticeships in her neck of the woods. So how about Melissa, you first, and then we can go to Meredith.
Thanks so much, Matt. I appreciate it, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'm just going to share my screen really quickly. Let me know if...
Yep, you're good to go, Melissa.
Awesome. So as sorry, my view is very strange. So as Matt and David said, Jobs for the Future is an industry intermediary contractor. There are about 20 industry intermediaries. We are funded through the Department of Labor, and sorry, my screen is all off. So you might have seen me in the past posting in the chat weekly about registered apprenticeships, and I'm happy to share that today is the beginning of a week-long celebration called National Apprenticeship Week. It's been going on for 10 years. And as Matt said, there's going to be dozens of events going on across the country celebrating National Apprenticeship Week and also celebrating apprentices. So there's a link that I think David posted in the chat to the Department of Labor site where you can find events near you. And JFF is also hosting an event this Thursday, and I'll post a link to that event as well. And it's called A Decade of Impact in Advancing Equity in Apprenticeships. And the reason why that is important is because, as you can see from this data, this is current. We still have an overrepresentation of white people across apprenticeships. We're making some headway and some ground on some of the other targeted populations, but so far we still are at 60%, more than 60% of apprentices who have all of these opportunities are all white. Similarly, the men outnumber women significantly. You can see here that 84% of apprentices are all male. And so to that end, I really would love to share with you some actionable strategies that you can do to increase diversity, equity, inclusion, or accessibility within your workforce. And one of those ways is to start an apprenticeship program. So apprenticeship is a level setting. You know, it would make opportunities within your company available to anyone without qualifications. They don't have to be qualified for their job. You can partner with a training provider who can support you in the development of an apprentice to grow and to train and educate them to be the ideal candidate for the job. And then some other things that you can do today are here on your screen. So promoting entry-level workers for open positions, that's an upskilling practice. It's very good for your company. Rewrite your job descriptions to eliminate some exclusionary language. So have someone from your target population, someone who you're trying to recruit who's not represented in your workforce, read the job description and give you advice on, you know, how it can be more attractive to your target population. Providing frontline managers with hiring and hiring professionals with bias training and creating belongingness. This is a training that you can take so we can change our habits. relook at your recruiting methods and strategies to target populations who are underrepresented. And there's tools for this. I can share with you a universal outreach tool that can help you find groups in your area that you can partner with who can help you with that type of recruiting. You can provide pre-employment job training, and you can also conduct a wage study and commit to closing the gender or the race gap that you may see among workers. And then I just want to share that know that Becky Caldwell is also on the call. Dr. Caldwell is part of the Jobs for the Future team that runs our industry intermediary contract. And this is some of our successes. We had, you can see that our goal has been between 650 to 825 apprentices, new registered apprentices each year. And our results have been going up since our base year, which we had 800 apprentices and then 900, then 1,200. And last year we registered 1,400 apprentices. We're hoping to beat that this year, but of course our goal is 825 new apprentices. So we'd love to count your apprentices among this group. And then you can see on the right, these are our underrepresented population goals. So this is increases in people of color and women in manufacturing. As an industry intermediary, we support anyone in developing an apprenticeship program. We can help you with registering it. We can help you foster collaboration among training providers and workforce agencies in your area where you are on the ground. And then we can host accelerators to accelerate the adoption of registered apprenticeship among manufacturing employers. The way that we do this is we, raise awareness about apprenticeships as a workforce solution, and we guide manufacturing employers and sponsors, other, program sponsors through the design, registration, launch, or expansion of equitable programs. And here's some of the services that we have available. So we can help you design a program, register a program, expand to a new location or a new occupation. We've got funding available. Did somebody have a question? Sorry. We have funding available, so incentive funding that you can apply for. Our application will be live right around the first week of December, so you can apply for incentive funding. I know we've already funded a couple of groups here in the AMCC group. We can help you with EEO compliance or your affirmative action plan, which is a requirement of a registered apprenticeship program. We can help you with DEI efforts, so some of the things that you saw in an earlier slide. And we can help you put together some related technical instructions. So any of these things that you see are available for free through our services. And you can request hands-on support through Jobs for the Future if you click this QR code. And I can also put a link in the chat if you like. So
Yes.
That's great, Melissa. Thank you. Yeah, putting that in the chat would be good, maybe with your email too, so folks could follow up with that. That'd be great. Meredith, welcome. Yeah, tell us about what's happening in New York. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share. I'm very excited. I feel very passionately about apprenticeship. I have been working in apprenticeship now for nearly 3 years. I started in the community college space, and now I am working for the Center for Economic Growth, which is an MEP here in New York State's capital region. Let's see. So we are the Center for Economic Growth. We're located in the capital region of New York State, and we cover 8 counties. We cover Washington, Warren, Rensselaer, Saratoga, Schenectady, Columbia, Greene, and Albany counties. So if anyone's familiar with New York State, Washington and Warren are up in the Adirondacks, and Columbia, Greene are down in the Catskills. So we have quite a range that we cover. We are a sponsor for apprenticeship. So we act as an intermediary between New York State Department of Labor and different manufacturing companies that we work with. So this is the path to apprenticeship with the Center for Economic Growth. The first thing, of course, is to identify a trade. The next is to become a signatory under a sponsor like CEG. Next is to develop a wage progression, determine the related instruction provider, choose the mentors, and hire an apprentice. So identifying a trade. New York State Department of Labor has over 200 trades. One example that I always like to give, so Steinway Piano Company is located in Queens, New York. So piano maker is actually one of the approved trades because they need workers and the pianos are made by hand, like start to finish. Here at the Center of Economic Growth, we are able to sponsor 10 different trades. We're also part of a group across New York State. So if there's a trade that a company wants that CEG can't sponsor, we can look to our partners in Central or Western New York that might have that trade to sponsor. On the right of my slide, I have Appendix A for CNC machinist. So those that aren't familiar with the appendices, Appendix A is what needs to be covered with the on-the-job training. CNC machinist is approximately a 4-year trade, so it's quite a lot of hours that need to be covered, but it does go pretty quickly. So becoming a signatory, CEG would be the sponsor. And what's great about being a signatory in New York State, there's quite a probationary period that a company will have to go through if they want to sponsor themselves. What's great about going through us is we don't have a probation period. So when a company manufacturer comes to us and says, we want to have an apprenticeship program, I can say, sign here, and we can start tomorrow. Okay. New York State does also offer a tax credit for companies that have apprenticeship programs, the Empire State Apprenticeship Tax Credit. There's also an apprenticeship expansion grant, which New York State Department of Labor does as well. Okay, developing a wage progression. So the example that I have here is for CNC machinists. So you can see it goes through the first wage progression starts with the first 5 months and it will go through the end of the program. So at the end of the 4 years of apprenticeship, it is required to have 1 wage increase, at least 1. Every company, every industry will look a little bit different. So we work with the companies and try to meet them where we're at and say, you know, this is the going rate, this is what's competitive, this is what is the industry standard. And we try to encourage them to match that. And then they'll have to increase at least 1 point during the apprenticeship program. The related instruction, this part is near and dear to my heart because this is what I used to do before I started at CEG. We work with our community college partners in addition to Tooling U. We're very fortunate in New York State to have a phenomenal public education system. So the State University of New York community colleges, there are 5 in our geographic area within the 8 counties that we cover. So that training is usually 144 hours of related instruction per year. That doesn't mean 144 hours sitting down in a classroom. There's like a conversion between the credits and the number of hours that Department of Labor will accept. And all the training providers must be approved by state ed as well as New York State DOL. Mentorship is required for apprenticeship. The ratio has to be a 1-to-1 mentor and apprentice. That being said, they don't have to be best friends and joined at the hip. It needs to be a go-to person that the mentor can, or that the, apprentice can ask questions to throughout their workday. And the mentor really should be focused on monitoring the apprentice's safety as well as their growth in the industry. Okay. And in choosing an apprentice, it can be a new hire or incumbent employee. They must be legally eligible to work, so 16 and older. I say interested in college level coursework because of the related instruction being required. And like I said, because most of what we do for related instruction is located at our community college, it really is college level coursework. One thing that I forgot to mention is in addition to taking courses at the community college, those are actually funded for by our SUNY system. there are specific grants that SUNY uses. So for example, if you're doing a 2-year trade, you get $6,000 toward related instruction. And if you're doing a 4-year trade, you get $8,000 toward related instruction. So that's another incentive for having the apprenticeship program. And that's very attractive for potential apprentices that they can take college coursework for free. And that's it. So
Great, Meredith. Thank you. And if you guys, if you're monitoring the chat, I see some good questions in there and some responses. Alan in Virginia asked a question. Melissa responded to that. And then, of course, we have more info coming from Wynn about apprenticeship. So we have a few minutes left. Questions for either other things that folks want to share that can add value to our work around apprenticeships?
Yeah, and I put my email in the chat, so feel free
Oh,
if
thank
anyone
you.
has questions. I specifically do focus on New York State trades. However, I can try to answer as many questions as I can. And if I don't have the answers, I might know someone that does.
That's awesome, Meredith. That's the attitude that we need across the board, right? Yeah. Melissa, anything come up, when Meredith was going through that you wanted to emphasize? So it's kind of we got the broad application and then the example of Meredith in New York, wondering if that spurred any comments. Yeah.
No, really great job, Meredith. I like your model. I love group sponsorships. And I just want to reiterate that if you're as an employer don't want to or don't have the bandwidth or feel like there's just not enough time to start your own registered apprenticeship program, there's probably a group sponsor near you. And a group just means multiple employers. An individual program is one employer who started the program for themselves. So you can join a group program, and that they can take care of the paperwork, the Department of Labor, the registering the apprentices, all of the back end stuff. And really all you have to do is just make a hire, which you're probably going to need to do anyway. So Meredith's program is a great example of that. So
Great. Thank you, Melissa. Alan, we got 1 minute. Please go ahead.
There we go. Good, thanks. So the question for Meredith is, in terms of state support for your champions at the state level, is it the governor's office? Is it your delegation, elected officials from the area? How did you guys get state authority? That's a major issue here in Virginia and in other states as well. What's the secret sauce in terms of champions?
Well, fortunately, our governor is from Buffalo, which was a very industry heavy area. But our designation as a group sponsor comes from our New York State Department of Labor. So the commissioner for the Department of Labor, and this happened before I had started here, but it comes from our specific state DOL. I wish I had an easy answer for you for secrets.
No, it's a great. That's the answer. Yeah, that's one part of the answer. Many sources, but that's a big one. So we'd like to keep this call right at 30 minutes because we know you are all busy out there strengthening the ecosystem from your different perches. So we're going to close that out. Let me turn that to Michelle to do that. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks, Matt. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Melissa and Meredith, for sharing your findings. And again, wishing everyone a happy apprenticeship week. It was really great to see how you all are meeting your metrics as well in DEI at JFF. And thank you, Meredith, for giving us the perspective in New York. So everyone, we will see you back on next Monday, which is November 25th. And looking forward to seeing you then. And David, have a wonderful birthday.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.